from the hills of Ibiakure right here in Akwa Ibom State. My name is Fono Bongitina. Quite excited to be back in your screens this morning. Lots of sports and activities when you talk about the world of sports this morning. Last night in the English Premier League, Manchester United continued their inconsistencies on the Ruben Amorim as yet another last gasp straw by West Ham stalled United from getting into the European sports. These and many more would form the crux of our conversation this morning. But just before we start, we'll take a look at what's trending in Sport Wrap-Up. Starting from cricket, Nigeria began their West Africa Trophy campaign on a bright note with a 19-run victory over Zambia in Abuja yesterday. The hosts successfully defended a modest total in a match that swung back and forth before Nigeria's bowlers closed it out in the final overs. Zambia won the toss and sent Nigeria into bat, hoping to exploit early conditions. Their decision initially looked justified as Nigeria struggled for fluency in the power play, losing wickets at intervals. However, all-rounder Isaac Okwe steadied the innings and produced the standout batting performance of the match. Coming in during a tricky first, Okwe struck an unbeaten 35 of just 19 balls, injecting a much-needed momentum into Nigeria's total. Zambia's bowling unit put in a disciplined shift, with Asim Mohammed emerging as their most effective performer. The Seamer picked up 3 wickets, applying pressure that prevented Nigeria from posting a larger total. Nigeria's bowlers, led by Prosper Oseni, tightened their grip on the match in the latter half of the innings, as Oseni delivered a career-defining spell, taking 4 wickets and triggering Zambia's collapse as they were bowled out for 119 for 10 in 19 overs. The hosts will look to build on this performance today as they face Sierra Leone, who lost by 7 wickets against Rwanda yesterday as well. Now to the just concluded West Africa Para Games, where Team Nigeria made history by winning the first edition of the Games held in Abeokuta, Ogun State, dominated the competition with an overwhelming medal haul. After 6 days of compelling action, Nigeria emerged first on the medal table with 59 gold, 39 silver, and 31 bronze medals. Benin Republic finished a distant second with 4 gold, 4 silver, and 14 bronze medals, while Ghana claimed third place with 3 gold, 15 silver, and 21 bronze medals. Cameroon and Ivory Coast completed the top 5 in 4th and 5th positions, respectively. The Nigeria amputee football team sealed the country's dominance by winning the final gold medal of the competition, defeating Liberia 1-0 on Wednesday during the closing ceremony. Chairman of the National Sports Commission, Malam Shehu Diko, commended the participating athletes, describing their involvement as a history-making feat. President of the Paralympic Committee of Nigeria, Sunday Odebode, expressed profound gratitude to President Bola Tinubu for supporting people living with disabilities through the National Sports Commission. Now to basketball, where just this morning LeBron James knew his record streak of double-digit scoring efforts were in jeopardy, and in the moment he didn't care, as the right play was to pass the ball, and so he did, and with that his streak ended. James' run of 1,297 consecutive double-digit regular season scoring efforts ended just this morning when the NBA's career point leader was held to 8 points in the LA Lakers' 123-120 win over the Toronto Raptors. He had the game-winning assist, setting up Rui Hachimura's three-pointer as time expired. James could have tried to win the game and extend the streak on the final possession, but he instead passed to Hachimura in the left corner, and he connected, and James threw his hands in the air in celebration. Now to football, where far away in Saudi Arabia, Super Falcons forward Asisat Oshuala extended her fine scoring streak, netting her 6th goal of the season to inspire Al Hilal to a 2-0 win over Eastern Flames in the Saudi Women's Premier League. The Nigerian star, who has been outstanding since arriving at Al Hilal, opened the scoring in the 43rd minute, pouncing on a rebound to give the visitors a well-deserved lead. Al Hilal strengthened their grip on the match early in the second half when Al Badari Mubarak struck in the 62nd minute, securing a comfortable victory. Despite the win, Al Hilal remained second on the log with 15 points from 7 games, 3 points behind leaders Al Nassr, who maintain a perfect record and still have a game in hand. Eastern Flames' struggles continues as the defeat leaves them winless after 7 league matches. Al Hilal will return to action on 29 January 2026 against Al Qadsiya, while Eastern Flames face an uphill task in their quest for first point when they meet Al Nassr the following day. Oshuala's goal brings her tally to 6 in 7 appearances, keeping her third on the league scoring chart behind Clara Luvanga, who has 11, and Adrina, who has 10. Now on to the most electrifying league in the world, where Manchester United endured another frustrating night at Old Trafford as Sungutu Magasa's led strike sealed West Ham United a 1-0 draw. Ruben Amorim's Red Devils fell to a meek 1-0 home defeat to Everton on the last home outing, but had got back to winning ways with Sunday's 2-1 comeback win at Crystal Palace. Diogo Dalot put United on course for another victory, only to be undone from a corner as Magasa fired home after a goal line clearance to seal Nuno Espirito Santo's side a share of the spoils. It was an avoidable 83rd minute gut punch that underlined that the host rebuild still has a way to go, with boos greeting the final whistle. Now, those were all the stories we have for you on Sport Wrap-Up, but not to worry, just a quick breather and we'll be back for the show in full. Stick around.
Hello, good morning, and welcome to an exciting time. We talk about the best of stories in the world of sports at Sports Central, and my name is Blyden Lukem. Exciting times ahead. The guys are seated with me on the table of greatness, ready for this talking point, the build-up that comes with it. I've had a conversation with centre around the English Premier League, the woes of Manchester United after pulling a draw against West Ham United. Well, it seemed like a game at Old Trafford. Many thought United could get a victory, but it never happened after Diego Dalot gave them the lead early in the game. Well, similarly, we'll talk about the world of tennis, still within the context of football. Asisa Oshoala, Nigeria's forward for the Super Falcons, adding up the number. Many regard her as the best footballer in Africa, but she's adding up the number in the Saudi League, despite her team being second in the log. Similarly, we're going to talk about much of the games that took place, talking about the Paralympics that took place in Abeokuta, where Team Nigeria dominated proceedings and commanding lots of praise from in that regard. But the most important talking point centered around yesterday, the retirement of Super Eagles captain William Truss Ekong. Well, it would be a conversation. Is it the right time for William Truss Ekong to retire, knowing fully well the Nations Cup is just right about the corner? A few days towards the Nations Cup, and the captain comes out and says, look, I'm not going to be part of it. I'll just go in a support. Good morning.
Good morning, Blyden. Excited to be here.
Well, let's get to the thick of the conversation as fast as possible. Funny thing, not possible. Funny thing, not speaking too much when it has to do with this one. Well, we're beginning a conversation from the world of tennis as we hear that Potapova has changed allegiance from Russia to Austria after being given her citizenship. She applied for citizenship and now being given, and she's ready to be part of it at the Billie Jean King Cup, talking about the Russian international switching gear and joining another federation called Astra in that direction. A 24-year-old has been building momentum, considering the very fact that 24-year-old who represented Russia in the tournament in 2018 and 2019 and will be eligible to play for Austria next year. Russia has been banned from competing in team competition since the invasion of Ukraine. Well, to start with you, well, we're getting to that point. Russia won't be part of this team sport. So as individuals, you can feature a tournament, but team sport not. And this lady now, 24-year-old, she's moving on to join Austria.
I was actually about, questioning the rationale behind, those changes being made by Potapova, because she's actually participated for Russia in many competitions before.
Even at the Billie Jean King Cup,
yeah, so
2018, 2019.
Absolutely. I actually like the regulations that are governing, the tennis, players, particularly because if it was in football, won't have this happening. I mean,
because you can't play football alone. Anyway.
Absolutely.
Okay, on the other hand, you can switch gear.
Yeah, you can switch gear after representing your country for more than one tournament. So I think it's quite good for Potapova because individually now she's also looking at other nations who will be having their players represent them. Recently we're also talking about a tournament where we had many players from across different sections representing their respective countries, and makes a whole lot of sense where you're also taking your flag of the national team quite high, and even in such instances also win laurels for those teams. So for Potapova, quite good for her at the moment. She would also have that chance to represent a country at a major international event.
So good for her in this direction, talking about representing another country in that direction. And quickly, let's move and talk about a Nigerian now, Osheneke, who's been appointed as the IOC Athletics Commission, being part of that mix. So, funny thing, we've always talked about it. A 7-time Olympian, Olufunke Osheneke, has made history being the first Nigerian to be appointed into the International Olympic Committee Athletics Commission. Well, many are praising this and being so happy about it because a stack of big numbers following her nomination by IOC President Kirsty Coventry. But the other question would be what this brings to Nigeria as a unit, looking at Olympic and the interest of sports in the country.
Oh, I think the lady Olufunke now, due to her wealth of experience, would definitely be able to, talk for the athletes. We've always talked the intricacies of the Olympics for Nigerians. So I would expect her to do better and sort out the needs of Nigerians who are heading to the Olympics.
Well, especially those that are from the Athletics Federation. We've had a lot of issues from the Athletics Federation when it has to do with the Olympics in recent times. And that's why we had the likes of Favour Fele, a switch camp from Nigeria to other countries is that concerned. And we're hoping that appointment help Nigeria in that direction, especially when it has to the information requirement towards the Olympic and athletics. Well, quickly, let's move now. Well, we're talking about Nigeria.